What's up guys, it's James aka Swizzle, and I thought it's been a while since I uploaded a tips and tricks video, so today I'm breaking that silence to share my thoughts on Grid Autosport. In this video I'm going to look at my favourite cars in the touring car discipline, and I'm going to be sharing what I think are the best cars in each of the individual categories. I'm going to start with Cat C and move on to the next category as they appear in the game. Cat C is definitely my favourite touring event, as there's a good variety of cars and circuits which makes for more unpredictable races. Looking at the options then, we've got the Cruise, the BMW 320, Ford Focus and the Honda Civic. The stats suggest there is little to choose between the four, but for me it's between the Cruise and the BM. The Focus and Civic just feel heavy and sluggish, they lack the extra power required to shift around that extra weight. The BMW has the best launch and acceleration, it's really quick off the line even with traction control turned on. The Cruise however has the BMW in the corners with its front wheel drive handling and superior brakes. Where the Cruise grips to the apex, the rear wheel drive BM tends to step out, meaning you have to feather the throttle or coast to maintain speed. Deciding which is best then really comes down to track knowledge. The shorter twistier tracks like Hockenheim and Mount Tremblant, you really won't go wrong with the BMW as they rely heavily on acceleration. Brands Hatch however, with its sweeping bends and fairly long stretches, caters best to the Cruise with its better top speed. Category B then is a battle between the mighty German cars, the Mercedes C63 and the Audi RS5. On paper there seems to be a big difference in the stats, arguably favouring the Mercedes with its greater power and acceleration, but at a cost of weight and top speed. I actually bought the Mercedes first thinking it would be the better choice, but ended up selling it soon after as I couldn't keep up with the all-wheel drive Audi, which is by far the far easier car to drive. All the top times on this week's race night have also been set in the Audi 2, which is no surprise to me, as having put a flywheel and clutch package in it, it really takes off. Category A sees the Peugeot 408 go head to head with the ADC Prestagia in the battle for the best A-class touring car. I'm not going to tell you which is the best, as to me they both feel pretty much the same in my opinion. The stats give the advantage to the Peugeot with the better acceleration, but for me it's only minute if anything at all. What I will say is, having driven both for about the same amount of time, I tend to finish higher in the standings using the ADC. To me it just doesn't feel as twitchy to drive. Next up is the Super Utes. These all-Australian utility vehicles have been fitted with supercharged V8s, which sets the stage for every race to be a full-on wreckfest. The amount of times I've had to retire after a turn 1 pile-up in this category is unreal. It doesn't help the fact that the brakes on these have been coated with a film of WD-40 as people plough through from the back hoping to lead the race after the very first corner. The most popular wrecking machine of choice in this category seems to be the Ford ahead of the Holden. Obviously the greater weight and piss-poor brakes makes this perfect for a truly epic clusterfuck on turn 1. I tend to back out of these lobbies if I'm on my own, but if I'm with friends I tend to just sit back. Whichever car you race with in this category, they're both 45,000 brand new. They cost a ton of cash in repairs after each race, so to me it feels irrelevant. It's all about personal preference. Similar to the Utes, there's only 2 cars in the Super Tour event as well. You're limited to either the Ford Falcon or the Holden Commodore, which is disappointing, as the third choice for me is what this event is lacking. Both cars cost the same, and if you go by the stats the choice is pretty obvious. The Commodore is better with exactly 2 extra acceleration and everything else is the same. Again though, like Category A, the reality is there's little to no difference on track. That said, if there is an advantage to be had, you're best opting for the faster car. The Mini and Classic Mini Cups are self-explanatory, as there's only one choice for all. What I will say is the Classic Miglia is an awesome first car to buy if you're starting out, as with 15,000 credits you can begin to build experience and earn extra money without paying for rental repairs every race. The John Works Mini is an oversteering beast that reaches a top speed of around 100 miles an hour, or at least it feels like that. The disadvantages of single choice events in my opinion means they become stale, especially in the slower Classic Mini where there's little overtaking because people make fewer mistakes. This brings me down to the final event in the touring car discipline, the Classics. Here you can race between the Ford Sierra and the Nissan Skyline. The stats appear to be heavily in favour of the Skyline with its great 4-wheel drive launch, acceleration and power. But don't be surprised by the Sierra, as this car can more than keep up when used correctly. Where the Skyline has brute force, the Sierra seems to handle much better, and if you keep to the racing line and maintain your speeds, this car is very effective. Like with Cat C, choosing between the Ford and the Nissan, I will leave to you guys, as I feel it comes down to track preference. If you're after a bullish car that is forgiving around a difficult circuit, choose the Skyline. If you're a more refined racer and in a clean lobby, the Sierra would be my shout. Well, that's it guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, this is purely from my experiences so far and may not be to everyone's taste. Don't forget you can share your favourite cars in the comments section below. Next time I'll be sharing my favourite street cars with you guys, so be sure to subscribe to get that video straight into your sub box. See ya!